Good morning, y'all. This is Scuffed. And Royal Rumble just happened. I'm a little late on this. I said Monday on the Wrestle Kingdom podcast, but you're getting it Tuesday. That's alrighty. Um, General thoughts before we get into this. Rumble was good. With some low lights, but the E typically has some pretty decent low lights. And nothing here was horrible. Well, that's probably a lie. The pitch black match was stupid and bad, so that's kind of horrible automatically. But nothing here was terrible. Like nothing here was all time low bad. And the WWE always talk about where I think AEW can consistently be mid. WWE is really peak and valleys. Some of their stuff can be really really dope, and other stuff is fucking terrible. Like all time bad has to be something they do usually. So yeah, man, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk it up. There are a lot of things I like. There's a good bit of stuff that was trash, but that's most pay-per-views, and we'll talk it up. So again, no prelims here. Talked about how we really only cover prelims for New Japan events. Sorry, not sorry. And we'll get to the opening match, which was the Dudes Rumble. Wild. This should have main evented. We'll get into it later. I'm not really interested in harping on it right now, but this totally should have main evented. Especially with Cody and co. But yeah, let's run it. Some thoughts here before we get into it a little beat by beat. This Rumble, I'm gonna talk a bit about it for sure, but nothing mattered. Nothing matters in this Rumble. This Rumble doesn't start until Cody enters at 30. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And it doesn't matter until Cody enters at 30. That's genuinely how I feel. It's kind of how I feel about how they laid this whole thing out. And again, it's because of how they laid it all out. It really, nothing matters here until Cody enters at 30. That's just genuinely how I feel about it, and I think that's awesome. I think that's really beautiful and really dope and really sick, because a lot of the times when you have a bit of a Rumble that's stacked and you don't know who's going to win, you have to play with it all the time, but we all kind of have the idea that Cody's going over here, yeah? Everybody in their right mind does. I think even casual fans are thinking Cody's going to win. Like, I think they've laid it out that well. But man, This is really dope at 30, and this kind of had what the Women's Rumble didn't too, with the ending being like building and building and building and being really exciting, where the Women's Rumble kind of got super fucking boring. Once Becky and Bayley get eliminated and eliminate each other, that Rumble got terrible. But we'll talk it through. So we opened up here. It was Gunther and Sheamus to open, and fucking God, I love Gunther. What a stupid name, but what an awesome talent. That dude is amazing. Everything he does, his shit is gold. He's got the Midas poop. He's so incredible. It's wild. He's a big dude, and he's so good technical, and the way he's able to lay out matches, and he sells well, and man, I mean, he's awesome to look at. And his kit too, like his offense is so menacing, but it's also so refined and crisp. It's beautiful out there. And he really does wrestle like he looks. Like, he's big and he's imposing, but he's not Braun and he's not Omos. Like, he's not giant. So yeah, it's crazy. It's really dope to see what Gunther can do, and how he can work out there with everyone too as well, because he really does go out there and just go have barn burners with everyone. Probably the best Intercontinental reign we've had in a while too. So yeah, they open up, do a little bit, they work here a bit. Most of this kind of gets the ring full through the opener of the Royal Rumble. So I think what we have, like, at one point 9 people, I think. No one's really eliminated yet. Miz is like the third entrant, and then Drew's in shortly after to go partner with his love buddy Sheamus and their Lucky Charms and Oates. Chad Gable's in, Gargano's in, Xavier Woods is in, Kofi's in. Kofi and Woods do the spot where they play with each other's ass in the center of the ring, so that was enjoyable. Who else gets in? The ring fills, the ring pools everybody's in the ring basically. I think maybe there was one elimination prior to the excitement of this Rumble. So far the Rumble's fine. They're setting it up. Nothing's crazy. But then Brock comes out. And I said to myself, I was like, dude, they should have Brock eliminate everyone until Cody. They should just have Brock eliminate everyone until Cody and then have a match. That's exactly what they should do. Brock should just run it. He should just go to the table. I thought that would have been sick. But he's not getting paid by the hour. So Brock comes in. He's cleaning house. He's looking real deadly. He's looking real lethal. And then they work the Brock Lashley stuff because they're feuding. It looks like we're going to be seeing Brock and Lashley at Mania easy. And then we have that go down. And we have Lashley eliminate Brock. And Brock is pissed. And he throws the fucking announce table cover. Oh my God. This was so sick. He fucking rages, dude. He fucking throws his controller. I thought this was fucking awesome. And then he murders everybody, and he murders Baron Corbin. Corbin's on the way to the ring, which is hilarious. So yeah, this is great. I thought this was good. This is good. This is kind of where the Rumble starts a bit. The rest of that, the whole lead up wasn't really much or wasn't too interesting. But you know, it doesn't have to be, or you're not measuring a Rumble by every beat of the Rumble. It's not how it works. So I believe after that we had Seth then come in. Seth comes in. God, I miss when Seth Rollins was cool, man. Seth Rollins used to be cool and edgy, and then he got hurt, and then they made him a babyface, but then that didn't work out, and then they made him a cult leader, and now he just does that weird shit with his hands, and he's laughing all the time, and it's really fucking weird, and I don't understand. I don't know who it's for. I don't know who fucking likes this Seth Rollins. I really don't. It's awful. I really hate it. Like, see, Seth Rollins used to be cool, and now Seth Rollins is just fucking weird. I don't know. He's Becky Lynch's husband, I guess. That's cool. And nothing wrong with that, I guess, but it's just fucking sad. But he gets in here. He throws in Corbin. He's going to be in here for a while. I think Gargano's in there for fucking ever, too, which is weird because he does nothing the whole time. And then I think this is part of the Rumble where we trend into the goth kids in South Park, that they get their spot. Finn Balor, Priest, and Dominic. They have Rey Mysterio flash on the screen, but he doesn't come in. Apparently, Rey Mysterio's IRL nursing an injury. They kayfabe it up to let you believe that it's Rey getting attacked by Dominic. I guess, you know, I'm not reviewing many WWE shit throughout the year, so I'll probably be giving my intermittent thoughts here. This is where one will, what the fuck is this whole thing? I don't understand what the Goth Kids Federation is. I don't get it. They all call Rhea mommy. I thought Rhea wasn't straight too, so it's also a little odd. But I guess there's not supposed to be a sexual connotation to it, but it kind of feels like there is one. But it's all really weird. Damian Priest is fucking drywall. Dominic at least gets a reaction out of the crowd. I mean, he looks hideous and he sucks when he's in the ring, but it's whatever. He gets a big reaction. Damian Priest is literally like drywall. I don't know how people can say Baron Corbin's boring, but then like Priest. It's just one of the craziest things to me. But yeah. And then Finn is money. I mean, I already like Finn already, but Finn is money. He's got that shit-eating grin and that cackling, all of his animations. I mean, shit, he's done this before, right? Bullet Club, baby. This is Tuesday for Finn Balor. But like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are we doing this? Why the fuck are we? This whole federation is weird. This whole faction, this whole stable is weird. I don't get the goth kids. They don't make any sense to me. I get the stuff with Edge a little bit, but I also thought Edge's shit was weird when they were trying to make this like the new Brood. I thought this was weird last year when they did this. All of this is weird. I don't like it. I really don't like it. I think it's really odd. It's also really odd. Everybody's in like streetwear. Like a little bit, yeah, everybody's kind of got a bit of a streetwear look. Like Rhea Ripley isn't necessarily in traditional tights, and Damian Priest is wearing like a lot of weird shit, and Dominic is in like a jumper because he's hideous and weird, but Finn Balor's in like twink boy tights because, you know, Finn Balor looks like a twink, but it's whatever. He's cute and he can look like a wrestler. He can look in tights. I love it. I wish more people would wear tights, but especially in the WWE. I wish he would look like a wrestler, but he doesn't belong. Like he He really doesn't. Everybody else is wearing clothes, and Finn Balor comes out in wrestling cosplay. Like, it's really odd. And yeah, I don't get it. I don't. Maybe he should just wrestle in the jacket or a t-shirt with tights on. I really don't know what it does for him, but I hate it. I really don't like it. I really don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to shit on something so bad. And we'll talk Rhea up a little bit later because, of course, she's our Royal Rumble winner for the women's later on in the co-main event. But yeah, the next big spot in this Rumble, though, after the Lashley stuff was this. The Goth kids come in, they take over the ring a bit, they get some great heat. This is fun, you know. Again, I don't like the Goth kids, I think they're shit, but I'm not going to ignore that this isn't good wrestling. You have the heels come in, they do what they need to do, they're getting over, they're getting a big reaction. As long as that's working, who cares? Again, who cares what I think? Who cares what I like? This is good. This was good. This is objectively good wrestling, good way to work the spots in the Rumble. They're doing everything they need to be doing, and then they get cleaned up. Edge comes out, big reaction, big pop. It's at this point in Edge's career, I really wish he would just only do things at the Royal Rumble and nothing else. Genuinely, I'm sorry for that, but that's exactly how I feel. And they have Edge come out, get the big pop, get the big crowd reaction, and from there he cleans up. He's eliminating everybody, torches the whole federation, the whole Goth Kids Federation. I keep calling it a federation because it's kind of what it is. I wish they were giant. I wish they were like the NWO big, where they just, every underneath talent, they just put in goth makeup and clothes, and maybe that's more interesting. I don't know. They're like an actual cult. They're spreading. Everybody's jerking off. It's only dudes. Everyone's jerking off to Rhea Ripley because everyone calls her mommy. I don't know, some weird shit. Because this whole thing sucks. It's weird. It's so dumb. But he cleans house, and then they do the spot where, you know, Edge then gets eliminated. They brawl to the back with Beth Phoenix coming out again, attacking Rhea. Rhea came out to attack Edge, and then they do a little spot, and this is fun. This is where the Rumble gets a little boring. We start padding the ring. We start having a lot of underneath guys come in. Booker T came in. That was hype. That was hype as fuck. We had our big old man's return. Booker T looked great. He looked fucking cut. He looked real cut. And then he started doing the... It's so funny how shit... And we'll talk about it with Kevin Owens later. It's so funny how wrestling just has so much shit and everyone's the same, because this is not the first time I've seen an old man take the ring and start flexing his pecs, because we saw Kojima do it. Because Booker T cleans ring and Booker T starts flexing his pecs, and Kojima was doing this when I watched Wrestle Kingdom Night 2 earlier this weekend. So I saw him doing this when he cleaned the ring in the 6-man tag. So this is good shit. I really appreciated this. I thought this was really funny. But yeah, Booker T was here, hype as fuck. Big, exciting. They had Gunther eliminate Booker T. Another case of good booking there. Let Gunther get heat for eliminating the fan favorite. People already like Gunther, so let's put him in positions where the people are going to kind of have to boo him because people are so excited for Booker T. So he doesn't overstay his welcome. Unlike Michelle McCool, fucking Christ, what a non-worker she is. And it's even worse, she's working in fucking sweatpants. Fucking Christ's sake, you have... we'll get into it. That's the bad part. We want to talk about the good stuff, baby. And this Rumble was great. So, again, the Rumble dies down a bit. We don't do much. We do this spot way too fucking late, and they also did it wrong. They have Omos come out, and then they have Braun come out, and Omos and Braun do the big standoff. But why the fuck did Gunther not join? They totally should have had Gunther joined. Gunther just beat Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental title like 2 SmackDowns ago. So it's not like he's not able to stand up with them just because he's a little bit shorter. They should have totally had him come in and make it a big dick waving contest. So it was dumb they did it this late, and it was dumb they didn't have Gunther in. They should have exactly what they should have done? They should have did this earlier when Gunther was fresher, and they should have had it done that way, and they should have swapped this with the Lashley Lesnar stuff. Although I do think that the Rumble up to that point needed something a little bit more interesting than Omos and Braun. So this is fine, but yeah, weird. This felt like something they should have done way earlier in the Rumble rather than like getting into the late 20s. But more underneath talent are filing in and filling in, and really we get to the point where there's so many shitters in the ring. Except Logan Paul. Logan Paul's in as well. I guess Ricochet's in. Ricochet and Braun do a cute like tag team spot. I don't know. I'd like to watch them fuck. Maybe this is cute. They look all sweet. Ricochet looks all sweet in Braun's hands, flowing his bald ass through the ring. This is beautiful. We're just missing some like Disney romance music. This was fine. Again, I say boring because it was boring. Like there wasn't a lot outside of directly what I'm speaking about. Genuinely, like there really wasn't a lot going down. But again, I said it at the top. This Royal Rumble has not started yet. This Royal Rumble doesn't begin until number 30 hits. So we're gonna get to that. Number 30 hits. Oh, Logan Paul came in. I think I mentioned that, but Logan Paul's here too. Neat. Worth it to mention. I don't know if this happens before Cody and Logan Paul or before Cody enters, but Logan Paul and Ricochet do a weird spot. This kind of just felt stupid, but it was sick, but it was dumb. Like they springboard across the ring and collide midair. And again, this just seemed dumb. I don't know why we did this, but like whatever, it was a hype moment, but it also just seemed like stupid. Like what the fuck is this? This is real weird and anime. Like I don't understand. It's like, well, this is like I was watching Dragon Ball Z. It was really weird, but it was hype. It was cool. Is kind of nothing. I think it happened after Cody because Logan Paul tries to do the three amigos to Cody and Cody pops out of it, I believe. But at 30, Rhodes is in, hype as hell, big exciting. Wrestling has more than one royal family. Adrenaline in my soul. I love the theme song. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of Cody here. This is exciting. This is what we all want. Like, yeah, Cody was a big deal. He went off away. He had some cringy New Japan matches that weren't good. He had some AEW time that's mixed. But this is what we want. We want Cody right here in WWE, in the main event, doing his shtick, working it, heel, babyface, doesn't matter. This is him. This is his element. This is where he belongs. This is for daddy. This is what he grew up to do. This fucking is lit. This is what we want. This is the biggest thing for him and for us that are fans. You want this. He's going to be one of the greatest wrestlers in the world when he's not doing weird shit in not his element. And it's fine. You know, the Al Snow shoot, go make yourself a better product, right? Take yourself away and come back a better product. I get it. That's dope, whatever. Lit. But thank fucking God he's finally back here. And I think this is the start of goated shit. I think last year when he debuted was the start of goated shit. But Cody hits, and now the Rumble begins because this is what we've all been waiting for. And Rose enters the ring, and he's getting his shit in, and he's over. And, you know, he ends up dumping a few people. Cody Rhodes starts getting his eliminations. They set up the elimination of Austin Theory. Austin Theory was coming in, and he got curb stomped. Cody eliminates him. Again, Theory was one of the guys that came in later. He's not underneath talent. I get that there's big plans for him, so I'm sorry to lump him in there. I will say personally, I don't get it. I don't get why people like Austin Theory a ton. Maybe because I haven't seen him enough, and I I'm definitely not watching some fucking TVs, man. So maybe Theory's really dope. If anybody's got any comments on Austin Theory, please, like, tell me. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, genuinely, like, what's up about the guy? Is he just like really sick? Is he really clean in the ring? Is he just a good shit-eating grin heel? Is he what makes Austin Theory get your dick wet? I really want to know, because he just looks like Gargano to me a little bit, and I think Gargano's boring, but yeah, let me know what's up about Austin Theory. I really hope I kind of get to see things about him. I hear that he's dope, but I just don't have reference for him. But yeah, Cody's in here. I think he helps get the elimination over another heel, but I can't remember. But this boils down, the ring starts clearing. So the ring was full when Cody comes in, and that's the thing. That's another thing why I said the Rumble is not really starting, because we also know the ring is piling up and getting full, and we know what it's building to. So we had the ring boil down to 4. I think it was 4 people. I think it was Theory, Rollins, Gunther, and they take care of Theory pretty quickly. And then it's Rollins and Cody and Rollins and Cody team up to start taking down and chopping down Gunther. Now, they don't really get an elimination attempt in here too often, so it was a little bit shitty. They just kind of lay him out, which is fine. They are trying to fight each other, so laying out Gunther, they have heat, they have a rivalry, so it's not crazy to think that they want to lay out Gunther and then get to their one-on-one. It's fine. They don't need to ruthlessly try to kill him and eliminate him. But Cody and Seth work each other over. And if you've seen any of their matches, you know that this is good shit. This is dope stuff. I might think Rollins' gimmick is really stupid, but that doesn't take away any credit to what he's able to do when he gets into that ring and what he's able to do with incredible talent like Cody Rhodes. And Cody's great here. Cody's toe-to-toe. They're back and forth. They're really dogging it. This is a direct contrast from what Cody and Gunther will be like, which is great because I think it highlights how good Cody is as a worker in this style, as well as the range of what Cody can do, because Cody can step out there with an indie or more talent like Seth. And I hate saying that. That seems so weird, right? It's been so long since he was Tyler Black, since he was Ring of Honor, since he was doing moonsaults off fat dudes outside of the ring in a gymnasium, right? It seems forever ago. It's weird to say more indie-like talent of Seth Rollins when guys like him have been here forever. And I mean, go look at Ciampa and Gargano and the PWG roots that Gargano has. Like, it is very genuinely weird to say more indie-like. However, that is exactly what he is still. And that's not a knock, that's not a bad thing, but that's a contrast to what Gunther is and what Gunther is able to do and what Cody's able to do. And it's notable because you can see what Cody's able, how the range he's able to work and still have a high quality of work within that ring and what they're able to tell. So a lot of back and forth here, very clean. And then Seth is about to take over and Logan Paul comes out of the ring. Logan Paul was taken out from that big collision in the middle of the ring with Ricochet off the springboard, and then Logan Paul throws out Seth, and then Seth is like mauling over it outside, like, what the fuck, you bastard. So we might get Seth Rollins Logan Paul at Mania. It should be very funny to see Seth Rollins go from being the heist of the century, world champion, really cool, doing cool things, and now he's, Becky Lynch's husband that loses to Logan Paul. So very cool, Seth. God, I wish he was cool again, man. Maybe one day Seth Rollins will be somewhat fun and cool and not just a weird dancing loser, because that's really what he's, just a weird dancing loser right now. It's so sad. But they then have a little standoff, the three of Paul, Gunther, and Cody. Paul's out of here in short order. No one cares. He served his purpose enough here. Doesn't need to be in anymore. Logan Paul's pretty cool. He definitely doesn't deserve to, he can't really be in those main event matches. Like, if you saw his match with Roman, it was shit. It was really the shits. Really bad. But, obviously he debuted with Miz in the tag team, and that was all really good stuff. And Paul really shows that he has some chops, especially for TV. And we already kind of knew that he would have had the chops for TV if you knew a bit of his background. But he really can't be in there in any sort of meaningful, big-time singles match just yet. He just doesn't have the basics. He really doesn't have a lot going for him other than his athleticism and his ability to maybe play to the crowd, which is good. That's not nothing. That's incredible. That's huge. Let's not underplay that. That's not a vital part of being a in-ring worker. And I'm not just going to be a snob because Logan Paul can't do the best arm wringer. I get it. His hammerlock might look like shit, but there's more to wrestling than that. However, he still is the shits, and he still really can't do much within that ring. So he serves his purpose. Isn't a thing of, oh, Logan Paul should kill himself. It's more like, good, Logan Paul was booked well. So I want to clear that up, because I will be negative today, and I've already been a little negative, but that's going to be, that is lighter than what we'll have to say about the rest of this card when it gets bad. So Cody and Gunther, last two. Now, I don't think there's any playing with the fact that Cody is seriously going to not be in here, but these two fucking kill it. Gunther and Cody have a match. And in contrast to Cody going blow for blow with Seth Rollins, we have Cody go underneath. He works from underneath. He works like a babyface. He works like in his best element is working from underneath as a babyface or a heel and getting his ass kicked. Cody Rhodes looks great when he gets his ass kicked. He sells like a motherfucker. He's got great facial expressions. He's really using his body out there. He's really channeling the energy, bringing up the crowd, and he is fighting it, dogging it. These two go back and forth, and Cody's doing the spot at one point where he's just flexing his muscles and he's throwing a fist, but then he's getting hit way harder, but then he's throwing a punch because he's sticking in there, and they work this so well, and they work it out to the apron, and they do such a good job all the way through working it, and the crowd is so involved and invested because the biggest thing they want to do right now is just scream for Cody Rhodes, sing his theme song, fucking live in the moment, love this, have this awesome time. And again, why the fuck did we not end with this? I understand, and I get, I really do understand, and I get why they did it with Roman and what they needed to do with Roman and the bloodline stuff, and I get that it's the hottest thing they're doing over there. It's the hottest feud, program, storyline, whatever the fuck we're supposed to call it nowadays, but I get it. This was cool. This is dope. Wonderful. Great stuff. But this is your picturesque moment. This is your pick. You could have done the Roman stuff in the middle of the card. You could have opened up lighter than what you opened up with. You could have put the Roman stuff on the opener of the card and done your big long program, and then just had less time for the women's world title match, to be quite honest, because if you ask me, that match should have been 2 minutes because Bianca Belair should have just power slammed Bliss twice and called it a wrap. Or you could have taken that pitch black match and fucking shortened it, because Christ, they didn't do anything. You had important shit on this card, and you had shit that wasn't important on this card, and I don't understand if it's a time thing. They still could have did what they did in the opener. So genuinely, to me, I really don't see why we main evented with the Roman stuff, why we didn't go home on the Cody note. But it does promote your TV. I get that's like the most vital part, right? We're going to talk about ratings. Ratings is one of the biggest important factors, right? And then the CRMs and everything that comes from that and the analytics of that when you talk to producers, right? Huge. It's important. Ratings do matter, and this promotes your TV. WWE, it does tours. They do tours, but TV is huge. TV is important, and they got to promote that, and they got to promote what's going to happen on Raw, what's going to happen on SmackDown. So for what it's worth, I get it. They need to promote the TV. So it's not egregious that they didn't go home on the Cody thing, but I feel as though that was the better thing to kind of go off on. But great Rumble. One of the best Rumbles we've had in a while. I don't think this is one of the best ever, and I think that when you say best ever, to me, you're thinking top 5. I don't think this is top 5. I mean, certainly this isn't the 1992 Rumble, but that's because no Rumble's going to ever be as good as that one. But yeah, this was a great Rumble. This was a really, really good Rumble. Again, probably one of the best we've had in a very long time, honestly, because the Rumble from like 2015 on is really shit. So every year it's really not that great. So this is a really good time. This is great. I enjoyed it. I enjoy what they're doing with Cody. Again, I think this is awesome. Cody's got a great skill set in this element. This is where he belongs. This is what he should be doing. And now we're at the point where I really don't think there's anything stopping him from steamrolling this momentum into Mania and becoming the de facto top babyface. I really don't at all. And I know there were, we'll talk this a bit later, but I know there were some chiming in about what if Sami's in the Rumble and if they're going to screw it. I don't think any of that matters, because you could have put Sami in the Rumble way earlier, and you could have had the Bloodline help him, and then you could have had him get avenged by any babyface. Or you could have had some heel dump out Sami and get his heat. Could have had Gunter dump out Sami and get his heat. It didn't fucking matter. There's a million ways they could have put Sami in this Rumble and gotten him out of there, and who cares? So it didn't matter. And he wasn't in the Rumble anyway. And he didn't need to be in the Rumble. He didn't need to be in the Rumble at all. And he wasn't. So it's not that big a deal. We're going to Gonna take a little break, and we're going to talk up the next match on the card, which fucking Christ was the stupid pitch black dark soda dumbass match. Alrighty. Next up, we had the stupid match. Calling it the stupid match isn't nearly as bad as actually calling it the Mountain Dew pitch black match, because that's just a lot more words to say stupid. So we want to save oxygen here. We want to be appreciative of the time we have on this earth, and I will not waste it marketing shit I don't get paid for. So yeah, it's a shame. It's really a shame they use Eli Drake like this, or LA Knight. I really don't like his name in the WWE either. I think Eli Drake is very pretty. I think LA Knight is very dumb. I love Eli Drake. I think the dude rocks. He's cut, he's built, he's a big motherfucker. He can talk for all day long, and when he gets into the ring, he can whip you, and he looks like he can whip you. He can also work. He can work. He can sell. He's got it. If Eli Drake was taller, I think then everybody in the world would be like, oh yeah, this is the guy. I really think it's a height thing. I don't know. He also looks like a cracked out wrestler. Do you see his eyes? He looks crazy. He looks like a Wile Carney wrestler. He looks exactly like a Wile Carney wrestler. And that's even more reason why they should try to fucking push him. They should really try to get into that and play into that sort of worker that he is and that wrestler that he is and what the fuck he looks like, because good gracious, he looks like a cracked out, geeked out wrestler. And I don't really know why they don't. I really don't know why they don't. And Eli Drake is so good. He's so good. His facial reactions, the way he's able to take bumps, he's got a knack for this shit. And the fact that he's not in a, I said to myself, at least they're featuring him. At least he's featured. It sucks he's in the Bray Wyatt spot. It really does. But he's on TV, and I think he's done a lot of this Bray Wyatt shit better than anyone really could have tried to be on the receiving end of it. And unfortunately, I think that's only more reason for WWE to run this shit into the fucking ground with him and to extend the program, which is unfortunate. This Bray Wyatt shit is fucking dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb and it's bad. I don't know how. I really don't know. People love it. I will say that. People love it. And if people love it, then, who cares what I think, right? It doesn't matter. And who cares what I think in general? I make these things for fun. But I think this Bray Wyatt shit's bad. I think it's dumb. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know who it's for. The Fiend stuff was fine. I didn't think the Fiend stuff was too egregious, and I really liked the packages that they were doing with the puppets and shit. Even if that was a little weird, I still thought it was fine. I still thought it was fun. I still thought it was going somewhere. It was interesting. It was intrigue. This is especially fucking bad. All of this shit is bad. The weird howdy doody shit, the weird fucking... why the fuck did we even have this match? It wasn't even a lights out match. Part of me thought it'd be a cinematic match. I was even excited for it to be a cinematic match. No. You know what it is? They go into the fucking ring, they put some dumbass fluorescent lights on, they color up everything. Eli Drake looks like a goddamn highlighter. Bray Wyatt had the cool face paint, I guess, but the rest of this is fucking stupid, and I can't imagine anybody could see it in the arenas. This is stupid as shit. Dumb as hell. They had the Mountain Dew branding everywhere. It was dumb as hell. This is stupid. I really hate this. I really hate this. I'm really not a fan at all of this. I think that they would have really gotten a lot more mileage out of a cinematic match. I think they really would have gotten a lot more mileage out of a brawl or an empty arena match or a lights out match that they filmed. This was dumb to do this live, and they have a shit match, and it doesn't last long. And the most exciting part and the biggest crowd reaction was when they went outside after the match and started brawling. And then they did the weird Uncle Howdy Doody, whatever the fuck, ghost man, whoever touched Bray Wyatt as a kid, comes down and elbow drops him. And great. Who cares? I don't get who this is for. I think this shit is beyond stupid. I really don't. And half the time Bray Wyatt goes out there, and when he does cut a promo, he doesn't say anything. He says nothing for 15 minutes. It's as bad as a Jon Moxley promo. It's as bad as an Ultimate Warrior promo. It's one giant word salad. It says nothing. This is all dumb. And at the end of the day, Bray Wyatt still gets like the second biggest pops half the damn time. And I don't know why they're wasting it on this. Why isn't he doing something else? Why are they... What is all this, man? This is all crap. I hate it. I'm a big, big, big hater of a lot of this. Bray Wyatt in general and the spooky shit is fine, is fun. The Fiend stuff was good. This stuff is an especially egregious brand of fucking not good. And I really wish they just stop. I really wish we wouldn't have to linger through it. And I really wish we could... get out of this. This stuff is really nauseating to watch. It's nonsense the whole way. And again, I think they would have gotten a lot of mileage, even though I think all this building up to it was nonsense. If this was a cinematic wrestling match they've done in the past, or this was just a brawl, this isn't even nearly as bad. But instead, we had a fucking match, and it was terrible. So, again, another reason to maybe get away from this nonsensical shit. If at the very least, if they're going to try to work this as a competitive, legitimate contest, instead of working it as silly cartoonery, like they should. The second you try to make this a legitimate match, this is just nonsense. It doesn't help that, Bray Wyatt's never ever been the best in-ring worker and the most compelling in-ring competitor ever in his career. So doing this makes it a lot worse that we even have to witness this. This is just... It's just nonsense, man. This is where the Royal Rumble opened up really strong and it closed really strong, but everything in between was, crap. It was really good bread and then undercooked my burger, a day-old lettuce, tomatoes that looked a little bit, the wrong shade of red, and, some mustard that smelled a bit bad, right? So it's very unfortunate, but the next match we had was the Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss match. Alrighty, so if you like the negative train, we're gonna keep it going, motherfuckers. Choot choot. Bianca Belair Alexa Bliss was bad and long. Not the greatest combination you can have. It is stunning. It is shocking. The level of talent WWE has on the women's roster. I kind of led myself to believe that AEW had like the much better one in terms of competition. They probably do still, but it's close. And the Rumble highlights this. Tegan Nox looks clean, looks crisp. That's a star. Zoe Stark is a bit green, but she looks awesome. That's a star. Asuka came back looking like Kana. She's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Io Shirai is the best women's wrestler in the world. She's doing tag team shit. Bayley, Becky, Charlotte, Rhea, Bianca, great talent. And you know who we have to watch in the main event? We have to watch Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss the last few months, and they're both dreadful. Look, they're not even terrible. They're not even like the worst thing in the world, right? We've come a long way. If you want to contextualize what women's wrestling used to look like, goddamn Michelle McCool, who is incompetent in there and can't do a damn thing. We used to have the bra and panties matches. We had Kelly Expose on ECW. We really have come an incredibly long way from women's wrestling, but that being said, the standard is come a long way and the bar is a lot higher than what Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan can do inside that ring on big time world title matches. And this was shitty. And also, Bianca Belair is a stud. She is an athlete. She is bigger. She is a big woman. Alexa Bliss is tiny. She is meek compared to Bianca Belair. This should have been 2 minutes. This should have been 2 power slams, and then Bianca Belair does her finish, and then we go home. This should have been very quick. This should have been very fast. We did not need to linger here. Bianca Belair is the much bigger, imposing force, and I don't think anybody for a second bought going into this, watching the televisions or watching it live, should have went into this thinking that Alexa Bliss was going to get a pinfall or a finish over Bianca Belair. This was dumb. And again, like I said, Alexa Bliss does some good stuff, and she does some good stuff with the promo stuff, and she's had world title reigns in the past, but the bar of talent has grown so much that we really can't have these talents. I mean, again, it goes back to like Toni Storm being one of the most solid talents for women's wrestling anywhere, and she was doing fuck all in WWE, and then they jobbed her out, and then she left. So it's so bizarre. It's so wild. There's so much that. Well, excuse me here. There's so much that. There's so much talent. There's so much talent in the women's Rumble that you saw as well that really had the ability and the affinity to go and work in there. And you get straddled with the Alexa Blisses and Liv Morgans of the world that just can't do anything at this stage, at this level of really meaningful note. And it's a shame. It's a shame because, again, even Zoe Stark, who is a bit of a novice in green, she's money. She looked fucking great out there in the Rumble. I'm a huge Stark fan on NXT. Roxy, or I guess Roxanne Perez now, but Roxy, she's a stud. I mean, God, she's named the Prodigy for a reason. She's incredible out there. She's so much better. And it really is weird. WWE, for their women's talent, has this like huge split between like those that know what they're doing, can work, look great out there, and those that are fucking behind. And it is so staggeringly noticeable. Like, the AEW's women's roster as a whole are all good workers, all pretty much veteran hands, very talented workers. But WWE's roster is literally like half workers that know what they're doing, that maybe work the circuit, that have worked a while, that have a lot of experience. And then the other half are divas. Like they're legitimately divas. I don't think that's wrong to say. They're the divas. They look like the divas. They wrestle like the divas of old, and they can't work. They are not interesting. And it is, when they're not that they're not interesting as a whole, but they're not compelling when they get into these big time world title matches. They are nonsense. They had Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey earlier this year. Man, I don't know who that's for. I guess it's for people that just like Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan, and that's a lot of them. And there's something to be said, again, not when you look at wrestling and you critique it, not everything has to be about work rate or in-ring ability, and I understand that, and that's a very poignant point. A lot of this, the most important thing is about putting butts in seats and being entertaining, and I understand that completely. However, again, putting Bliss in here opposed Bianca Belair should have been 2 minutes, 1, 2, 3, Bianca Belair holds the title high and then walks back because she just whipped her ass. Instead, Bianca Belair had to use every move she possibly had to beat Alexa Bliss, despite Bianca Belair being way bigger, way taller, way stronger, a natural athlete, a college athlete. It's crazy to me. Another note, I heard, and I might be wrong on this, but someone correct me if I am in the comments. Bianca Belair, she works babyface, and she's like refuses to not work babyface is what I've kind of heard. And I don't know why. I heard that she refuses to work heel because she does wrestling for the kids. She wants to be like a role model and shit. Someone's got to change her mind. Someone has to, because she's a natural heel. She's a natural bad guy. She's giant. She's big. She's imposing. She's real muscular. She's imposing. She's scary looking when you really look at her muscles, and she makes some real nasty faces that look like she's gonna kill you. Those aren't baby faces. Those are I'm gonna kill you faces. She looks menacing. And she's such a natural heel, and she's got a bit of flair and sass to her. Like, I always thought that, she's a bigger woman, and that doesn't mean she has to be a heel, but when she's going to wrestle the littler ladies, that they need to work that in a sense where she can work underneath. Bianca does not work from underneath well. She works best when she's imposing, when she's strong, when she's, walking out there, big fucking jacked lady that she is, kicking ass. And you can work that as a baby face, don't get me wrong, but she's just such a natural heel. And she was doing heel shit last year with the Becky Lynch program where she was cutting up Becky Lynch's hair. And I'm like, that's the most heel shit you could possibly do. And I know the context there. I don't care. Still doing that is the most heel shit you could possibly do. And she just works so well as a heel. And I had tweeted out that my dream Rumble scenario would have been Raquel Gonzalez into heel Bianca Belair, because Raquel Gonzalez, another incredible talent. I love that woman. She's great out there. She's such a natural babyface, and the flexing and all of that. It is awesome. It is awesome. It is awesome. I really don't know why. I don't know what they were trying to tell when they had Liv Morgan like backstage slap Raquel Gonzalez. They had Raquel Gonzalez put down Liv Morgan, but Raquel Gonzalez goes to the ring smiling, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, playing to the crowd, shaking hands, kissing babies, presidential campaign. Raquel Gonzalez looks like a natural babyface, an incredible babyface, one of the most likable people you can get out there. And then she throws a bunch of these smaller-looking ladies. Oh, my word. Again, you have a natural babyface. I've gone on a tangent. We're not even talking about the Royal Rumble anymore. We're just talking about nonsense. And I'm sorry. I hate to get so away from this. And we'll probably, there's timestamps in the description. And, I want to put at the beginning, there's timestamps in the description. So we'll make an edit there as well, on the video at the very least. But, yeah, we're going to get to the Rumble. I've said some stuff, and I've said my piece a bit here. This was a bad women's title match. This was not worth your time. It's just like the Bray Wyatt match. Go take a pee break, go get some food. It's what I did during the entrances. It's just, this is so dumb. They have so much talent on that roster, and we're straddled with watching Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan's go out there and work when we have better in-ring talent that are also captivating. So, yeah, it sucks, man. Alrighty, Women's Royal Rumble. And to start, this was, before we get into it, I know it was very negative on the end of that, and I stand by it. This Rumble was good until it wasn't. It really torpedoed and got bad. This was fun. They did a lot of fun shit. And then once Becky and Bayley leave the match, this match gets boring as shit. So Rhea Ripley comes in at number 1. She's nursing a torso injury that she had from the attack earlier during the men's Rumble to open, when she attacked Edge, and then she was attacked by Beth Phoenix. Despite that, she comes in at number 1 and wins it. It's a pretty strong statement, if you ask me. Liv Morgan comes in at 2. Liv Morgan's entrance at 2 is fine. It's really whatever. I don't think that Liv Morgan is particularly not in her element here. I think she's going to be able to get tossed and thrown, and she can lay on her stomach a while and watch and look what everyone else is doing, and I think this is fine. She doesn't have to come in and get a big spot. She works with Rhea for a little bit. It's nothing too interesting, and then, we're moving on to the next few entrances. And again, I don't hate Liv Morgan. I just think her in these really big situations to show her in-ring ability is the directly wrong thing. We should not be putting on someone that clearly can't go. So moving on here, Rumble gets a good bit of bodies kind of flowing into this. Again, I don't think anything from the Women's Rumble was super memorable. The big narrative early is that Bayley, Io, and Dakota Kai are in, and they're running roughshod. Bayley and Io and Dakota Kai are running roughshod. They've been this faction on Raw for a while. They've been working a lot of this for a while. Becky's been the babyface, having to come to save and make the saves against this. Bayley is trashing everybody. They're running through everybody. It looks really slick. Io Shirai is a really good elimination on the corner. They're getting through everybody. Dakota Kai looks sick. Again, Io Shirai is the best women's wrestler in the world. She's been for a very long time. If you're familiar with her work, you know that. She is an elite level athlete. She is wonderful to watch in that ring. I'm a huge fan of hers back in Stardom. Tons of matches you can go pilfer through. I think it's fair to maybe say she's not the best women's wrestler in the world anymore, because she just hasn't done a lot. And I know it's, really what are you, if you're not working in the biggest moment, can we really call you the best? But when it comes to the in-ring hand that she is, that's kind of more what I'm speaking to. But I mean, we have who's the lady that's been everywhere on the indie circuit? Yu Yu Suzuki, is that her name? I believe. She's been a stud. I mean, that lady is stellar. Toni Storm's around, Britt Baker is around, Charlotte Flair's around. So there's bigger names, but this this faction runs through everybody, and Bailey's great. I think Bailey's great. I thought that she might be eliminated early. I didn't know she was hesitant to maybe work. I know she was coming off injury. I don't know how banged up she really is. Obviously, it seems like we're going to be getting a big singles match at Mania between her and Becky, so we'll see. Bailey looks great here. She looks fine. There's nothing really happening in this Rumble, though, outside of them. And that's fine. It's fine for them to take over a little bit, but they're not really clearing the ring. There's a lot of brawling to the corners, brawling to the ropes. And then we get, we get some other interest here as well. I can't remember when Asuka came in and when Kana came in. I don't remember when she comes out, if it's before or after Bailey and them are in. I think it is when Bailey and them are still around. So with Asuka coming back in, things are really exciting. Things are really fun. She looks incredible with the face paint. She's awesome. Again, another candidate for one of those better women's wrestlers in the world. She is awesome. And again, you really see how much better she is than the rest of everyone else in there. When there's, and Chelsea Green came back, and I love Chelsea Green, but again, we're talking work rate, how clean her stuff looks, how clean Roxy's stuff looks, how clean Becky's stuff looks. There is such a talent gap around, and it is very, very staggering the amount of talent that WWE has around their women and that what they could be doing with that. Yet we get Liv Morgan, and it's just unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. If you're like a big in ring fan and you really kind of live to see what they can do inside the ring during the matches that are the important part, or should be the important part of the wrestling product. But I'm talking really negative here. This is all enjoyable. Nox comes in. She's enjoyable. She's getting a spot. She's getting some time. Zoe Stark looks cut. Corey Graves puts her over. She's getting some time. She looks good. Rhea Ripley's doing stuff intermittently. She looks good. She's getting time. They have Piper Niven come in. She looks imposing. She looks like a threat. It's good to know that she's Piper Niven not right now, and not like Doo-Doo Piss Pants or whatever the fuck her name used to be, because Christ, I'm glad they're treating her seriously because she's a good talent. There is so much to want to like and to chew on here, and with Asuka coming in / Kana, and she's killing it and doing it, and she's got the great face paint and the great look, and she looks sick, and the tights look incredible. This is great, but I will say Becky gets eliminated, Bailey and them do their spot, and they all get eliminated eventually, and they're all clean. The eliminations look great. But then we get to the point where we're just sitting there, and it's just kind of like, damn, what do we do now? And at 30, I didn't know if they had gotten Ronda back or not, so I didn't know if they were going to have Rousey come out at 30 again and maybe do that up, but they don't. And there's so much underneath talent. Like, I think I was counting through. This isn't like the WWE's Rumble or the men's Rumble, sorry, not the WWE and the women's, good gracious. This isn't like the men's Rumble where there is a handful of capable talents running around and coming out intermittently at the end of this at all. That's not really the problem. The end of this Rumble, let me find it. I made this list while I was watching it. Let me see if I can't find it here. This isn't in order, but this is about like a collection of 7 or so women that come out at the Rumble, and it is it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Let me just find it here. And again, this Rumble has the ending spots, which are fine too, but there's just such a gap in this Rumble. It just fucking torpedoes, and we get to the point where nothing is happening. Absolutely nothing is happening. We get to this big point in the match where absolutely nothing is going on, and it just feels super shit. It just feels incredibly dreadful. It's boring. I mean, the Rumble gets boring so fast after we had a very, very enjoyable time for most of this Rumble. We get to about the 20th entrant, and then everything gets so shit. And then, of course, at 30, we get Nia Jax, and no one likes her, and everyone's pissed. Here we go. I have the list. So we get Michelle McCool, Vega, Sonya Blade, Lacey Evans, Shotzi, and Nikki Cross. And again, like, I guess Michelle McCool was a little exciting because, like, maybe she's interesting to y'all, that she's a legend. Michelle McCool's shit. She was shit. She's part of the Divas era, and she's not even one of the big top ones that are super compelling and really interesting. Michelle McCool's the shits. She can't fucking work. There's nothing interesting there. She was a part of the Layla Cool tag team. Layla was the interesting one. She was way better. Michelle, oh my god. There's nothing to chew on, and all of this is even worse that she comes out in pajamas. They're supposed to be athletes. They're supposed to be competitors. It's supposed to be a contest. You're supposed to be wrestlers. What the fuck is this? And yet, look at this. And again, we always talk about WWE and Raw 30 and shitting on the new talent and things that happen to FTR getting bullied out and buried out as a tag team and getting ran through. And we always talk all this shit about how WWE constantly prioritizes the stars of yesteryear and they bury motherfuckers all the time. Michelle McCool, one of the shittiest wrestlers you could have thought of to have come back, and in terms of work rate and in the ring, she comes back in pajamas. She's in sweatpants and Ugg boots, and she's killing people. She is her little finisher. She's eliminating people. She's in there for fucking ever. She's in there for so long. You would have thought Michelle McCool was some wunderkind. You would have thought she was Manami Toyota or even Alundra Blaze. She's certainly no Mickie James. She is certainly no Mickie James. My God. And the lady that is retired can come in sweatpants and Ugg boots and look just as good as the rest of the cast. If that's not a fucking shame, if that's not completely ridiculous, that doesn't make your other women's wrestlers look completely incompetent, completely lesser, completely inferior. This is so dumb. And again, aside from that, we had Zelina Vega, who came out in some cosplay that was also promoting the Street Fighter video game. Sonya Blade, who I know has been featured, and I appreciate Sonya Blade, but nothing really world-shattering or earth-shattering here. Lacey Evans, who again I like and I appreciate, but nothing earth-shattering here. Shotzi and Nikki Cross. And at 30, we get Nia Jax. Meanwhile, the ring is crowded. There's a ton of people. Maybe so that they can get Nia Jax, who can't, move at all. Rhea Ripley tries to slam her, and then Nia Jax can barely get up, so she falls away. And then she tries to slam her again with the pump handle. I think it was the Riptide, correct? And she barely gets up anyway, and she falls again. So, oh my God, she's so useless out there. Like, come on, man. This is embarrassing. Between her and Michelle McCool coming out in slippers being better than half your women's roster, what the fuck are we doing? This is ridiculous. And again, there's so much talent within that women's roster. There is such an incredible amount of talent that they have with and it's not even just at the top. Like, they have blue chippers that are down there in NXT that look so fucking good. And it's almost exciting to know that in 4 years, hopefully we're done with Liv Morgan. Mandy Rose got her fucking canned. We're done with Alexa Bliss, and we will have Roxy and Zoe Stark wrestling. I mean, they're going to be wrestling in NXT right now. We might have Roxy and Becky Lynch, or, Tegan Knox might be able to get promoted up the card a bit, and she might be able to work somebody, and, she's a bigger body as well, so maybe a little bit more convincing. We'll have some of these more exciting people come around, and it's glad to have people like Asuka back, but my word, ridiculous having some of these some of these talents that are just not there, man. Oh my God. But again, they get to the finish, and our final three is Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. It's not even really interesting to go beat by beat. Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Asuka are your final three. They're working it around well. They all get to the apron. At that point, Rhea is able to unclip and eliminate Asuka from the apron, and then Liv Morgan does a code breaker on the apron, which is dumb as shit, because a code breaker on the apron, you're gonna land your back on the hardest part of the ring. Like, people hype up the apron spot all the time, and now Liv Morgan's gonna plant herself willfully onto the hardest part of the ring, back first on the hardest part of the ring. Holy shit, man. What the fuck are we doing? But whatever. Rhea Ripley sells it. I kind of like soft too. She kind of sells it like she got some water up her nose instead of like death, but that's fine. She's tangling a bit, and then Rhea Ripley head scissors Liv Morgan to the floor, and thank God, because Asuka could have won. Asuka coming back to win would have been, I think that's probably my pick, because I think they could have ran back Asuka Charlotte 2 at WrestleMania. And I would have been all for it. I think that would have been great. Would have been a very, very, very good match between those two. They could have even done Asuka Bianca Belair. Would have been able to see what Bianca Belair was able to do with another dance partner. I know she's been a bit underwhelming at times when she's not in there with Becky under the brightest lights. So there was interest there for me, but God, this was such a fun Rumble. And I was enjoying it. We were having a good time, and Asuka was back, and Bayley and them were doing their stuff, and you had the best talent working it over. But then the ring gets cluttered. We have Nikki Cross of people coming out, and the Shotzi Blackheart, and some more boring talents around, really, that aren't even super featured. And they're all coming in at the end, and I'm thinking, well, at 30, who's going to come out? And then it's Nia Jax. Oh, my God. This Rumble was good and torpedoed. This Rumble was enjoyable and fun and good, and then torpedoed so hard. And it's such a shame. And I think it's an indictment on how, not the talent, because we know the talent is there. We know that there's some extraordinarily gifted wrestlers in the women's division within the WWE, but it's an indictment on how they are booked. So there you go. There you have it. That's my rant. But we're done with the bad, at the least. At the very least, we are done with the bad of the card. It just sucks that was the majority of the match card. But we're done with the bad. We have our main event. And our main event, of course, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. We'll talk that up here in a moment. All right, it's time for your main event of the evening. Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, bloodline, storyline, program, feud, rivalry. I don't know what we're supposed to call it anymore. I guess you're supposed to call it all of those things. But yes, we have our main event. And it took us a while to get here. And oh God, we had the dumbass singer come out, because of course we did, and it was like 12 a.m. by the time the bell rang for this match, because some jackass decided to sing. Awesome, wonderful, yay. Apparently though, I muted it, so I'm gonna be honest, I muted him. Apparently the quality was really bad. I just muted him and was watching it with a friend of mine, and me and her were bitching about Roman KO going on last, and I was texting my other friend that was watching as well. So yeah, that was it really. But we had a good main event. This main event was solid. KO is great. I like Kevin Owens a lot. I think that at times there's no real classic or awesome matches in my opinion. I think he's really had in the WWE, save maybe his Chris Jericho match at WrestleMania. But other than that, I can't really think of an isolated Kevin Owens match that was really worth anyone's time to go watch. In my opinion, I really don't. Maybe the Kevin Owens John Cena stuff. That might be close. Those are probably interesting enough. I think that was more, at the time, Cena was still kind of undefeatable, unstoppable, and KO. And then the following year, AJ Styles were coming in, and they were challenging him, and they were kind of the indie guys. I think that was more a time capsule program rather than a wonderful match. I don't know. I'm very snobby. I get to watch Nakajima and Takagi kill each other at Wrestle Kingdom, and I watch Okada, and I'm a New Japan boy, blah blah blah, right? I'm very snobby about my in-ring, so I guess it's just me. Roman's dope. Roman's real dope. Love Roman a lot. I think the shit's great. I never even really hated Roman when he was hated. I thought it was always fairly decent. The guy athletic body, knows what he's doing, works simply but works to his strengths. I love when he's in there with guys like Seth that sell like hell for him. They bump and jump and fucking kill themselves for Roman's offense, and it looks incredible. And he looks bigger and more powerful than ever now, and he's cut. He doesn't got the tummy anymore that he's hiding with a vest or a t-shirt. He's actually pretty cut, and he's working without it and looks all cute. And he's with Heyman. That was the most obvious decision of all time, to stick him with Heyman. And he's even better when he gets a chance to talk, so that's also very nice. They didn't do anything too special here in this match, but of course, the biggest interest in this match was Miss Elizabeth. She's back from the dead, and she was reincarnated, and she's calling herself Sami Zayn. Lots of shots of Sami on the sidelines. Of course, the story going in, he's brought in to prove his worth and his value. I'll be very fair. I appreciate Sami a lot, and I mean, incredible worker. I loved his run as an underdog underneath babyface in NXT. It went in like 2014, 2013. What a time to be alive watching him chase Neville, who was world champion. They were doing some incredibly cool shit with Sami then. Oh my god, it was great. It was really good. I loved it. Sami has been doing this stuff on TV and getting Usi and becoming an Uso or a honorary Us. I think it's all kind of ridiculous, but you know, it's what WWE does, and it's a hot storyline, and everyone loves it. And again, like I said, just because I think something's bad doesn't mean it's bad. Again, there's different lenses to look through wrestling, and entertainment is one of them. And this is that. This is entertaining. People are hooked. I'm not really captured by it, but obviously one thing you can't deny is the crowd reaction, and like the crowd was silent for the women's match, and the Rumble match got quiet as well. They're not quiet for Sami. They're not quiet for this. So we're getting into this one, and we're wondering if there's a will they, won't they. Everybody knows Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' history. It's such a shame they can't say the words Kevin Steen and El Generico, because it's obviously what they're referring to. And there's already shoot interviews that cover this, but whatever. It's a shame that we don't really dive into that. They didn't really ask for tape libraries to showcase that, but I guess we're not in the one-on-one feud. Zayn at ringside is great. I think that they're complicating the story a little bit. I think that there's a little bit too much commentary. I think Graves and Cole would do a lot if they could shut up when they're showing Sami Zayn's reactions, because they're playing this against them, this will they, won't they. They're playing this, they're playing this, oh, look at Sami, look at Sami, look at Sami. And I think it hurts it, because I think that if they just shut up, and they just show and zoom in on Sami Zayn, that tells a lot more. And maybe Michael Cole could say something along the lines of, dear knows what's going on through his head right now, But Graves sensationalizes it, and he's not good at this, and he didn't shut the fuck up, and it does really ruin the moment a little bit. It also detracts from the match. It does. It detracts from the match entirely, and that's WWE doesn't care, because WWE tells you all the time the matches don't matter, so it doesn't really matter to them. They don't prioritize the matches, and I get that, but it's different when it's TV, because I understand, but now it's a pay-per-view, it's a big-time event, and whatever. KO and Roman don't do anything too exciting to open in the early moments. I think we do get a senton onto the floor. KO sentons, back sentons, Roman Reigns on the floor, which is good. That's exciting. But we don't really see much else. Early on, they throw some shots a little bit, trade a little bit, and then we start getting into the bigger, interesting things. Superman punch, duck, KO then gets caught with the Superman punch later in a real nasty fashion. Owens tries for a stunner, can't get it. A lot of playing with these kind of near falls towards the end, but nothing was too compelling. Referee bump, that's good. We want that. That's going to get some shenanigans going. Roman Reigns hits a really pretty spear. Kevin Owens, of course, hit the pop-up powerbomb into the ref bump and then got the 6 count. But he also hits a stunner later, and he can't get the finish even after that. Roman Reigns, while the ref is down, wants the steel chair before he gets hit with the stunner, and Sami Zayn's hesitant to give it to him, and Roman's, livid about it, but Sami Zayn does give it to him. Roman's trying to end the life of Kevin Owens here. What else? I'm trying to recount a little bit beat by beat. KO is speared and he's selling it like death, and he is rolling out to the ring, and he's outside, and Sammy's trying to tell him to stay down while KO's trying to grab onto Sami, and it's kind of cute. It's very much anime there. Roman does the spear, and I thought this would have been cool if they had Roman spear Sami instead of KO. I thought it would have been really cool if Sami was in the way and took the bullet for Kevin Owens. This would have harkened a little bit back to... Does anybody remember the Kevin Owens-Shane McMahon rivalry? And at Hell in a Cell, Shane McMahon jumps off the steel cage at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. He tries to elbow Kevin Owens through the announce table, but Sami Zayn pops out of the crowd and grabs Kevin Owens off the table and pulls him away to not take the bump. So I thought that was really cool. That kind of harkened back to that in my mind. But, I'm a bit of a nerd, so of course I'm remembering random pay-per-views at WWE. But they don't do that. Roman spears him through the barricade. KO is dead at this point. KO gets rolled into the ring, but rolls himself outside the other end of the ring, but it's all a formality. Roman Reigns starts smashing KO into the steel steps. Very basic spot that looks really nasty, real Norman Smiley. And then Reigns throws KO back into the ring and spears him. And it's over. It's all over. KO is down. Good stuff. Good action. Oh, Kevin Owens botches the fuck out of his moonsault. It's hilarious. And then they just repeat the spot anyway. They just repeat the spot anyway. Very, very cool. I don't really know why. I don't really know why at all they just repeat the spot, but they do. And yeah, good job. Good stuff. That's probably like the only real botch of the night. Oh no! Yeah, Kofi Kingston died. Yeah, Kofi did some shit on the outside to where he was gonna land, but then he killed himself. It was very, very brutal looking. hopefully Kofi Kingston's okay. My God, had the Big E injury last year, and now that is just unfortunate. Oh God, that was brutal looking. Jesus. And they don't even mention it. They don't even mention it. I think it was supposed to be a safe spot, but instead Kofi Kingston ate dirt. So hopefully all of his jaw's intact. That was brutal looking. We have nothing else to say really about the match itself before we get into the post match. It was fun. It was enjoyable. There's nothing else to say. Nothing to wow you, nothing to go home with, nothing to really remember, but it was enjoyable. It was did what they needed to do out there. I think one thing to note is that KO and Reigns just really never look like equals, and I think that's nice because I think it's good to kind of the overwhelming presence. It just puts Roman over so well because there's the overwhelming presence of the bloodline, but even in the main event here, Roman Reigns just looks so bigger in this moment than Kevin Owens could ever hope to, and it just looks very, very telling that Roman is like endgame god mode where he was talking final boss shit. So I think it really, really, really talks up kind of and promotes him. I mean, the guy is just he's the bigger dude. And I don't even mean that in like a physical way. I mean that in very much like a he's the guy. He Roman is him. Right? Like it's not close. It's really not in that sense, and I love that. I love the visual of him standing off the KO, and he just looks so much the bigger threat, so much the bigger guy. Shout outs to KO for selling like death too. KO does his part to put this over as much as anybody in this match, and he just does an incredible job at it. But we're here for the post match. We're here for the Bloodline. We're here for Sami Zayn. We're here for the Usos. So post match, there's a beatdown. I talk about how we see these too much in Western TV, but just like the Kaito Kiyomiya Okada brawl, that was incredible. This was incredible. So they beat down Kevin Owens. They're beating him down. They're about to give Sami his lay. Roman says, no, not yet. They have KO handcuffed to the top rope. And it is so weird. I put a tweet out about this too. It's so weird. This is not the first time. The year has just started, folks. It's the 31st of January. I'm recording this. We're in the first month. And I have now seen the handcuff a wrestler spot twice in Western TV. It is just so funny how the same brain cell of pro wrestling tropes is just so strong and alive, because again, this is the second time we've seen this. This is the second fucking time. So it's so hilarious to me. But they handcuff him. It's not zip ties like Bully Ray did in Hard to Kill with Josh Alexander. But they're beating him down. They're kicking his shit in. Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso super kick KO for an exhaustingly humorous amount of time. I mean, it really does. It doesn't look, oh my God, anymore. It's funny. It's funny. It's genuinely funny. It is hilarious how many super kicks. Like, there's no emotional weight to this. It is just LOL. They're beating the shit out of him. So yeah, it's very funny that they just kick his shit in. And then, of course, Roman says, don't give Sami his lay yet. We need Sami to, get in on this. And we need to beat the shit out of KO. KO goes to hit Kevin Owens. Roman goes to hit KO with the steel chair. Sami gets in the way, says, no, don't do this. This is beneath you. You don't have to do this. And then Sami takes the steel chair, and then Sami hits Roman Reigns with it. And again, it's the redo of the Shield turn, and Roman sells it the exact same way he sold Seth Rollins a steel chair shot. It's very well done. It's very, very well done. And this is funny because last year at the Royal Rumble, we had Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, and we had them go back at it, and we had Roman attack Seth Rollins with the steel chair. So again, hearkening back some of that long-form storytelling, brother, New Japan, brother, Okada, brother, wrist control. Oh, that's how it feels, man. But yeah, this is done. This is well done, and you can tell that someone in there has a knack for storytelling. But again, like, the focus, it seems, is always at the main event scene. It's always at the very top. That same focus given to the main event scene isn't necessarily there at the is not necessarily there at the top end of the card throughout the card, right? It's only really at the top end of the card, which is unfortunate, because you'd really like to see that this is, you just like to see the consistency. It's going to make a better show, duh. But it really only exists here at the very top level of the card, which, is what it is, and that's okay. But after that, the Bloodline, after Sami Zayn, hits Roman Reigns with the steel chair, the Bloodline run through Sami Zayn. They're beating the shit out of him. They're killing him. Jimmy Uso's killing him. Sikoa's killing him. Jay's in shambles. He's like crying in his hands or something. He's like losing it. He doesn't know what to do. He's fuming. Sammy's laid out. Jimmy Uso like super kicks Kevin Owens on the way out. Again, it's just funny. Like, it's not even really like, oh my God, it's just funny. It's like It's like in Call of Duty, like they're shooting a dead body over and over again. Like it's just memes at this point. It's not really emotional. There's no weight to this. It's just silly. It's just funny. Um, but again, this is all done well. This is all good. And again, I understand if you were gonna have this big moment at the end of the match, why they did this, to go home, to promote the TV, what's gonna happen on SmackDown, what's gonna happen with the Bloodline, what's gonna go on, who's gonna have the last laugh, last word. So I totally get why this went on last. This makes the most sense. I get it. I'm for it. I'm here for it. I just think that you would have. I just think you would have been able to keep that importance of the Royal Rumble at the end, and you're still promoting the TV. I still think you're promoting the TV with Cody Rhodes. You didn't have to have that go on last to promote your TV to see what'll happen with the Bloodline. And again, you could have just taken time away from the women's match and the Fiend match, because they didn't matter. They didn't matter. Both of those matches were horrible. So yes, But not to harp on a point that was already beat to death over, like Kevin Owens. This main event was good, enjoyable, very enjoyable, worth your time to watch. Even I'm not gonna watch a TV. I'm not watching a WWE TV after this, mind you. But this was worth your time, and I believe that most people can probably watch this and appreciate what went down here and enjoy it, and I don't think there's a problem with that. These teams here really from the jump, in terms of the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens court and the Jimmy Uso court, I would love to see a tag team match for the world titles between them personally. But there's the question of what they're going to do at Rumble. Now, I think that's what they're going to do at Rumble, but there's 2 nights, and WWE couldn't get The Rock, and that really screwed up plans. And now you're wondering what they're going to do with the belts both nights. And a lot of people are wondering what's going to go down. Well, I'm not going to speculate, but I'm going to book it. We're going to book real fast what I would like to see WWE do with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. So hang with me here. If you wanted, the review is done. Royal Rumble, first match, last match, great. In between, terrible. Fine event. I don't give star ratings. I think it's silly. I have a lot of issues with giving star ratings. But enjoyable. The bad wasn't horrible enough, and the great was really, really good. So they kind of kept everything in control and within reason. But we're gonna book here really quickly. What should WWE do with Sami Zayn? We're gonna book it. So I want them to do a dusty finish at Mania. So we're not gonna book TVs, because I don't want to book TVs. But going into Mania, Sami Zayn's got himself a world title match, night 1 versus Roman. And what they do is they work a pretty long match. A lot of interference, a lot of stuff, and they do a dusty finish. And they're gonna have Sami Zayn is going to get a pinfall, and they're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it, and they're gonna be like, Sami Zayn's your new world champion, and I want the crowd up and high. I want the music played. I want him to hold the belt, and then I want the referee to overturn the match. I want them to say, wait a minute. Actually, Roman's foot was underneath the ropes outside. I don't know if WWE does this anymore, because this is a rule in some wrestling, and it used to be a rule. But if your foot is clearing underneath the rope outside, you can't be pinned. You need to secure them inside, otherwise they're outside the ring. You can't pin someone on the apron if their foot's outside on the apron. They can't. So, and I want that to be put there by Jimmy Uso coming under the ring, or Solo Sikoa, or Paul Heyman, or somebody, so that way they have to call it back, and then they call it back, and they get one last interference, screwing over Sami Zayn and into a Roman Reigns finish. So we still screw Sami Zayn one more time, and Roman Reigns gets the spear. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Retaining champion. Because night 2 is Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes should be involved in trying to make the save for this main event match. Cody Rhodes should be involved in making the save in this match for interference purposes. He can come in, maybe not during the match, but he can come in post-match. Maybe post-match, Roman Reigns, now they've won. Now the Bloodline's carrying back Kevin Owens, and they throw him, they kill him. And now they're killing Sami Zayn, and the night one main event goes off the air with Cody Rhodes running down, sprinting down to make the save and to go beat up Roman Reigns. And then that's your main event. And your Mania main event is now Roman Cody. Cody wins the title, and I think what they should do is, because I think if the idea is you want to split the titles, they should have Cody just come out and cut a promo and say, hey, I want the WWE title, I don't want the Universal title. I want the WWE title because it means more. It's the belt they should have given. It's for Daddy. It's the belt they should have given Dad. So he can vacate the Universal, or he can just not go for the WWE, and then we can have Roman. After losing the WWE title, we can have Roman, because he wants to go do movies, he wants time off. If we're having him go away, we can have Sami. I'm staying away from Sami winning the belt because I don't think you need him to. But we can have Roman transition out of the Universal title role in some fashion. Maybe KO wins it. Maybe he vacates it because he cuts a promo like, I'm done. I've worked off. I don't owe you anything, and I don't owe this belt anything, and this company, and blah, 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 blah. The Bloodline doesn't need this, and he can throw the belt away or whatever, break it or kill it or whatever. Because now what you can do, and again, not going to book out the TVs for this, but you can have Sami and Roman, and you can run the Sami Roman match back at SummerSlam, and then next War Games you can do Roman and Bloodline versus Kevin Owens, Sami, and Cody Rhodes, and we can loop back to Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes Mania next year in 2024, and you can have Jey Uso be another plot point in this, and seeing if he turns again. They can play that Jey Uso thing for months and months at a time at a TV, and maybe he can turn on at War Games. Maybe we can do Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso at Mania next year, and KO and Sami, or Sami and Jey, maybe versus KO and Jimmy. There's a million ways you can do this, but booking that out there, you want your TVs. You want to stretch these things. And if Roman is in and out of the door, maybe this doesn't even get overdone and overplayed too much, so you can still keep a lot of this TV fresh. And again, I think Sami should get over, but he's already over, and two, he doesn't need to win the world title to maintain this momentum. It's not going to kill him. Sami, they can play this out over and over and over on TVs and have Sami chase and chase and chase until he gets his hands on Roman Reigns one final time to beat him. And that can be SummerSlam, and maybe we still do Bloodline things because Roman still wants to chase the title, and maybe Sami's still around to thwart him and get his roses and all that. But they don't need to. If they have him win the world title now, I don't think we have matches down the line. Roman doesn't need to chase back Sami and Cody to get his heat, and I think it's more interesting, and there's more intrigue in having Sami chase, because I fear they give him the title and then they Kofi him. They have Sami hold the belt for a demonstratively long time. It's boring as a title reign, and then they kill him, they murder him, they bury him with Brock Lesnar after a boring title reign on top of that. Because again, Kofi's title reign was nothing to really sing at. And I think they'll do the same with Sami. So I'd rather them, instead of just crowning him at Mania to give everybody their flowers, I wish they would pivot and have Sami still have to chase. And I think that you would get more TV time out of it too. So I just think it's more efficient of them to maybe screw Sami at Mania and again get people to watch your TVs. Now I think the counter argument to this is that if they screw Sami out to put over Cody Rhodes, do people kind of see through this and everything and start booing Cody? No, I don't. I think the heat will be on Roman, not Cody, and I don't think that it'll be on Cody's world title reign. It'll be on, trying to get Roman out of here, because I think people are getting a little sick, and I think this Sami Bloodline thing has really renewed what would have kind of ran its course a bit, so it's been the reason to maybe keep plowing ahead with this. But no, I think Cody is enough of his fans. He's over enough. He's a big enough babyface that not at all. I don't think that he would be ran through the mud at all over this whatsoever, because I think that fans would maybe be sticking with it and wanting to see Sami kind of continue on, and I think they'd really go into night 2 of Mania wanting to see Roman just fucking get beat. I think they'd want to see Roman get his comeuppance no matter what. I don't think people would metagame it and really think about Cody Rhodes too much. Again, like I said, if Cody Rhodes making a save night 1 would get him all the more over. But that's what I would do. I would take this Cody Rhodes and this I would take this whole feud and with Sami Zayn, and I would stretch it out, and you get more TVs, and then you can do shit with Jimmy and Jay over and over and explore that more, and have Sami get into it, and you have Money in the Bank shenanigans you could have for it. Entirely. I think there's a lot of cool shit they can do, a lot of interesting stuff they can try to work around and get in. But yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't necessarily gift Sami Zayn the world title, because again, I think if you give him the world title at Mania, you've kind of given him his roses, and I think you've ruined the TV that you have, the TV potential you have. And then, dear God, what do they do with the Sami Zayn world title? You know, I don't think there's anything to go. I don't think there's anywhere to go if Sami wins the world title over Roman at Mania. I really don't. But that's my 2 cents. Royal Rumble was good. Royal Rumble was enjoyable. What do we have on tap after Rumble? What the fuck is their next pay-per-view? Is it Fastlane still? What a dumb name. Do they still call it that? What is the next pay-per-view? Is it Elimination Chamber? It might be Elimination Chamber. It used to be Elimination Chamber. What is the next schedule? I saw some weird thing. Elimination Chamber, Saturday the 18th. Oh, that's in 2 weeks. Let me get my calendar out here. That's in 2 weeks. Nice. That'll be exciting. So we'll watch Elimination Chamber maybe. I try to catch these Road to WrestleMania stuff, but I don't really want to cover every WWE pay-per-view because I want to not hate wrestling. Again, I'm very negative on these. If you watch the New Japan, if you guys see this and you go back and check out the New Japan reviews, I'm much more flowy. I'm much more positive, even because I enjoy it. So, but no. We have this. We have AEW shit too. When's Revolution's in March? We'll cover Revolution. We'll probably watch the next few AEW Dynamites, but I'm enjoying doing these. I'm enjoying watching a lot more wrestling. I think we're going to go back and watch Wrestle Universe, which if you're a big WWE person, you're coming here, you don't know what that is. Great Muta. I'm sure you know Great Muta. Dear goodness, I hope you know who Great Muta is. He is his retirement show, so we'll watch that, I think, and we'll probably put up a review. I said I wouldn't on the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom one, but I think I will. I'm enjoying these. So yeah, I think that's exactly what we'll do. And I want to see more. I just want to see more Japanese wrestling as well. That's not strictly New Japan. And that's why I'm so excited for the Noah event on the 21st for Keiji Muto's Last Love and watching him versus Naito. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this WWE stuff. The WrestleMania card's taking shape a bit. I have no clue what the fuck happened on Raw because I don't care. I really don't care. God, that show is so long, man. I can't watch it for that long. It's just not in me. I don't got that fight in me to watch it for that long. But yeah, that was Royal Rumble. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I enjoyed Royal Rumble. I just did not enjoy the middle. I didn't enjoy the middle part of Royal Rumble. All right, I didn't enjoy all the bad of Royal Rumble. But yeah, that was for Rumble 2023. I want to know what were I really want to know what people's thoughts were on the Cody Rumble, because I've heard people say it's like one of the greatest of all time, and I've also heard people say it's really mid. A friend of mine thought it was really mid. Another friend of mine, they thought it was good. I think it is genuinely one of the best Rumbles we've had in a very long time. So I would love to know what other people think. I haven't really seen a lot of discourse. I haven't really peeped a lot of discourse. I haven't searched it, is what I really mean. But again, I really think that it was one of the best. It was one of the best Royal Rumbles for sure. It was one of the best Royal Rumbles for sure. Yeah, it was definitely it was. Well, not one of the best in terms of top 5. It was one of the best we've had in a very long time. Because I think the last decade of Rumbles has really been shitty. I mean, what's 2023? What would have been the 2023 Rumble? Would have been Batista? 2013 would have been a motherfucker. Who won the 2013 Rumble? Oh, it's escaping me so bad. Oh, man, I can't think it. What? 2014 was Batista. 2015 was Roman. 2016 is 2016 Brock? Does Brock win it? Oh, man, I don't even remember. They're really not memorable. They're genuinely not that memorable. We had Brocky Rumble a few years ago when he was taking over the Royal Rumble for a long time, and then Drew McIntyre wins it. That one wasn't terrible. It was fun. It was enjoyable. But yeah, wow. Nice. Well, yeah, I would love to hear what people think about the card, and maybe give me an opinion on the women's stuff. Am I being too harsh? Am I really being too mean about Bliss and Bianca? I think that WWE has a ton of talent in that women's roster. I just fucking Christ, I hate they don't book them right. They don't book them correctly. Again, Bianca Belair should have went out there and just murdered Bliss, and we should have called it. We should have went home, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm hating. Maybe I'm a big hater. Maybe I'm just a New Japan fanboy that doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm fine. I'll take that label graciously. God, that Bray Wyatt match was bad though. Anybody else love Eli Drake? I love Eli Drake, man. What a goat. But nice. Well, that's it for me. New Japan is New Beginning stuff this weekend. That we might watch it. Oh no! I'm gonna watch it, but we might review it. Is what I mean. I'll kind of see what the interest is if anybody is out there. And I know the Wrestle Kingdom stuff got a bit of interest, and I mean if people are really excited for it or want to see it for sure. I don't mind doing these at all. But yeah, we will see you guys. I think the next one will be Osaka. New Beginnings for New Japan. Is it the 11th? That's the 11th. That's the weekend after this. Or this coming weekend. So it's the weekend after this coming weekend. The next event we will do will be New Beginnings in Osaka. Is the World Heavyweight IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match between Okada and Shingo Takagi. So we will watch that. We will watch that at New Beginnings. Takagi and Okada had a crazy good match at Wrestle Kingdom last year on night 1, so worth your time to go check that out for sure. It was incredible. Yeah, it was really good. It wasn't better than Osprey Okada, but it was really good. So I'm excited for that. So that'll probably be the next time we see you if I don't do Wrestle Universe. So we'll see. Maybe that's a surprise. We'll watch Wrestle Universe and get a podcast episode up about it. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Guaranteed we'll see you next time after the Osaka event in New Beginnings. So appreciate everybody for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed Royal Rumble. Excited for Cody Rhodes. Excited to see where they go with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Still not watching Raw, but yeah, enjoyable Royal Rumble. But I appreciate everybody and have a wonderful day. This has been Scuffed. Bye bye. Bye. Bye bye.